Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
All right, now our first 30 seconds of work is going to be just fingertips to the shoulders, and we're going to start to draw some light circles with our elbows. So start circling in one direction, and it doesn't even need to be full range of motion to start. What we want to do is just kind of tune in and feel, how are your shoulders feeling? As they start to warm up a little bit, you may increase range of motion, but it's not necessary. We just want to do that little check-in. And then if you're going in one particular direction, reverse, go the other way. Start small, be mindful, pay attention to how your shoulders feel this morning. All right, now we're going to keep our fingertips at the shoulder points, and then we're going to start to tick-tock a little side to side. You're going to keep your elbows lifted away from the side of your body, but try not to let the elbows come forward. So as you tip side to side, we're going to try to keep those elbows out of your peripheral vision. So you shouldn't even see the tips of your elbows come forward at all. Nice, and that's time. Okay, hands are now going to come behind the head, and we're going to try to keep them one hand behind the head, and we're going to reach and so think cross crawl, but slightly bigger range of motion. So we're going to reach all the way down towards the foot. If you've got anything going on, shoulders or hips, and that full reach isn't there for you, then you'll just go to the knee. But if you can reach all the way to your foot, you're going to take it at your pace. Notice your balance here. We don't have any single leg work today, but we do have a little tightrope walking with our looping resistance band. So you just want to kind of get a sense of, how is your balance feeling this morning? How is your energy level? Did you get enough sleep? And then monitor your heat. So if you're in a place where it's like really hot today, just make sure that you pace yourself according to the environment that you're working in. Nice job. And time. Hands are going to come right to the hips, and now we're just going to take them into some big hula hoop circles. Circle in one direction. Get a sense of how your hips are feeling. How's your back feeling? How are your knees, your feet, your ankles feeling? All right, reverse directions, go the other way. We're going to keep our hands on our hips. We're going to micro bend the knees, and now we're going to take it into a little hip hinge. So keep your hands on your hips. So you're going to hit that point. Your hands are going to get tucked into your hip crease, and then push down into your feet to come back up. So we want to keep that nice long spine. Feel that little pinch at the hip crease, and then push into your heels, come right back up. You've got it. Notice how the backs of your legs feel. Notice how your back feels. And time. Nicely done. Okay, step your feet in. It's going to be lift the big toes, lift the 4 small toes, and then you're going to sink into a light squat, but also pick up your heels. So you're not going to go super deep, but we do want to feel like the tops of the thighs kick on. So you're going to lift your big toes, set them down, lift the 4 small toes, set them down, lift your heels, bend your knees, come back up, and then lift all 10 toes or however many toes you have, and that's the work. So you're going to go big toes, small toes, little squat with the heels lifted, and then all toes lift. Big toes, small toes, bend your knees as you lift your heels, come back up, and then lift all 10 toes, and then just find a pace that works good for you. Try to find that nice little differentiation of picking up the big toes compared to picking up the small toes. If you need to look down at your toes to find that work, feel free to look down at your toes. Or if you need your hands to kind of help you so that your brain gets that message down to the toes, do what gets you the work. Nice job. 7 seconds left. And time. Awesome. Okay, grab your heavy weights. We're going to alternate between a deadlift and a squat. So go with the heaviest weights that you can stand. We'll start with the deadlift. So feet are going to be about hip width distance apart, toes and knees pointing fairly forward. Micro bend your knees, hip hinge, come back up, and then we'll sink into a squat. So we'll bring it up into a little bit of a bicep curl, go butt back, bend your knees, and then come back in, release your hands. So we're going to alternate between those two. Do your deadlift, bring it up into a bicep curl and into your squat. You've got it. We got 1 minute on the clock. The heavier your weights, the slower you're going to want to go. But then the light weights too, you just want to focus on where is your energy level at this morning. See if you can find that nice, good focused work. Nice job. You guys look amazing. "20 seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to take it into a bob and weave with a cross punch. So we're going to step a nice, good wide stance. You're going to scoop under like you're drawing a U shape. And then as you pivot over to one side, you're going to punch across, bring it back to the shoulder, scoop down, punch across, bring it back in, and that's the work. Go fast or slow as feels good to you. This is one of those places where if you want a little bit of an elevated heart rate, or you're looking to get a little bit of cardiovascular work in, this is a place where you can find it. But you can also be really nice and slow and intentional here. As you scoop through, you're working through your hips and your knees. And then as you punch across, you're just getting a little bit of upper body strength work happening. Nice. As you start to use your big muscles here, you may feel like your breath is coming up a little bit. Can you keep breathing in and out through your nose, or do you need to open your mouth and start breathing through your mouth? All right, that's time. Next up, we're taking it into, for my yoga friends, we call this sweep the table. Typically, we do this empty hand. We're going to try to go with a light load, see how that feels. If it puts you too much off balance, put the weights down. But it's going to be like, you're going to imagine that there's a table in front of you with a whole bunch of stuff on it, and you're just going to sweep that stuff off the table. So you're going to hip hinge, body's going to come forward, and you're going to pull one arm across and then the other. We've got 1 minute on the clock. If loading up doesn't feel good to your shoulder, or if it doesn't feel good to your equilibrium, like if it puts too much weight forward, leave the weights off. But if it feels good to be here, once you've got that motion going on, you can go a little bit faster. It can be very emotionally releasing, like especially if you've got like some stuff. Imagine that stuff is all sitting out in front of you and you're just kind of with a little vigor pushing it off the table. You've got it. Nice job. 5 seconds left. And time. Lovely. All right, come on up. Set your weights off to the side. We're going to grab our looping resistance band and put it around our ankles. So take a second to get it in place. Make sure you stay safe as you put your looping band on. I don't know if I've done like a check on our bands lately, but always look over your equipment just to make sure it's in good shape, good condition, no little nicks or tears. Once you've got that looping band on, we're going monster walks, but only backwards. So you're going to start up at the front end of your mat, sink into a little squat. We're going to step at that diagonal, but only go backwards. So once you hit the back end of your mat, you've got to turn yourself around and then start the process all over again. Just walking backwards. Stay in that nice low squatted position. Step back at a diagonal. The other foot steps in to meet. You've got it. Nice job. Once you get here, if this feels like it's not quite enough work for you, then grab your hand weights and do an overhead hold. But this might be just enough, and you should feel it in the backs of your thighs as you push that leg back and out of diagonal. Nice job. Five seconds left. All right, that's time. Now we're going to take it into a tight rope walk. So we're going to keep that looping resistance band around our ankles. Hands are now going to come behind the head. You're going to keep that little bit of an intentional head pushing into the hands, hands pushing into the head to create that resistance. And now you're going to walk like you're walking on a tightrope. You're going to find that bit of tension. I'm going to walk the perimeter of my mat, but you can walk in any place that gets you to find just the hands behind the head. Walk in that tightrope configuration. You can just stay in a single file line, walk forward, walk backwards. Do whatever feels good. It's more about finding that good posture and that slight bit of intention of finding that resistance on your looping band, catching your balance and maintaining it in that tightrope walk. You've got it. Nice job. Once you've got all that going on, we do want to try to keep eyes forward. So think about using your proprioception. Where is your body connected to space that you're working in? You know where your feet are. You know where your floor is. You guys look amazing. 7 seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Okay, keep that band around your ankles for this last bit of work. We're going to take it into some calf raises, but we're going to keep that nice sense of tension. So step your feet just to the point where you feel that resistance. Lift your heels, lower your heels. We don't want the heels buckling in or buckling out. And then once you've got that going on, if that feels like it's just not quite enough work, grab your hand weights, load them up at the shoulders, keep that little bit of load, and then think about keeping the hand weights lifted off the shoulders so they're not resting. Arms and upper body are nice and engaged. Keep that little bit of tension on your looping band. Awesome. And I would go for control here. So rather than going for speed and whizzing through it and try to get as many calf raises in as you can, go up and down at a nice, slow, even pace. So you really feel the muscles in the calves and you feel the muscles in your ankles and your feet working. And time. Awesome job. Okay, kick your feet out of that loop, set it off to the side. The next thing we're going to do, I'm going to move myself just a little bit closer so that you can see my hands. We're going to hold either a horse stance or a sumo stance. That's going to be whatever feels the best to you. But for the first 30 seconds. You're going to go flat palms facing up. You're going to take your fingers and take them all the way to your wrist and then drag your fingers out and back. So try to keep flat palms, fingers to the wrist, drag your fingers out. 30 seconds of work there. Nice, slow work, but find your sumo or your horse stance, sink into that position. Keep your elbows tucked up against your body. Fingers to the wrist, drag your fingers back, nice and slow. Think about curling through the fingers as you drag them back. You can look at your hands if you need to, but we want to try to keep the palms flat and facing up best we can. Ten seconds left here. All right, now next up, we're going to stay in that low squatted position. Now the fingertips are just going to curl to the right where the palm and the fingers meet. So just to that line, curl the fingers in and then curl the fingers out. Curl the fingers in. So here you can probably go at a slightly faster pace. So find a pace that works good for you. Maintain that squatted position. Curl the fingers in, curl them out. Try to keep that flat palm facing up. You've got it. Woo, and time. Shake out your hands, shake out your wrists, shake out your legs. Nice work. That was awesome. All right, now we're going to take it. Here's where we're coming down into our high kneel. But if you'd rather stand standing, we're going to take one hand loaded, one hand free. You're going to tuck your free hand across your shoulder blade. So you're going to try to feel the shoulder blade of the hand that's loaded. So you're going to reach your hand behind best you can. We all have varying ranges of motions. So just place your hand. What we want to do is feel the muscle action and the bone working from the back side of the body. So once you've got your hand tucked behind, keep your tailbone slightly curled, keep your belly slightly firm, lift your arm up, lower it with control, but see if you can keep, you almost want to imagine that you're trying to breathe into the back hand. So we're going to lift up, lower with control. We got 30 seconds on this side and then we'll switch. Go at a pace that makes the most sense to you. Breathe into the back hand and lower with control. Nice. I said we could do this in standing, but this one, if you want to come down into a high kneel, this is also that optional place where you could come down into your high kneel. That'll challenge your core strength just a little bit more because the high kneel puts you slightly at that imbalance. All right, when you're ready, switch your hands. So now the other hand is going to reach across the other shoulder blade, reload your other hand, and then away we go. We lift up, we lower with control. We got 30 seconds on this side and same thing on this side. We want to imagine that we're breathing into the back hand. And time. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to take it into a kneeling lunge. So you're going to step 1 foot forward. We've got 1 minute one side, 1 minute the other side. So you're going to find your lunging position. A slightly wide position might make you feel the most sturdy. And now we're going to take, so the leg that's forward, opposite hand is going to be the loaded hand. You're going to reach across to the blade edge of the front foot. You're going to come up, circle around your head, give a little halo, reach back to your back heel, come up, circle your halo the other way. So we're going to reach across blade edge, circle your halo, reach to the back foot, circle your halo the other way. We've got 1 minute on the clock. We want to keep our legs strong, but slightly fluid because they move with you a little bit as you reach across, touch the blade edge of your foot, circle around your head. A little bit of oblique work and a little bit of work. You'll feel maybe a little stretch in your front pocket area as you reach towards that back foot and then circle around. You've got it. Nice job. Don't worry if you can't reach that back foot. We just want to reach towards the back foot. Ten seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Okay, we're switching hands, we're switching feet. Step your other foot up into your lunging position. If you're cushioning your knee, give a second, get yourself cushioned and prepared so that it's nice work and it doesn't feel grinding on that knee. And then away we go. We reach across to the blade edge of the foot, circle around with that halo, reach towards that back heel, and then circle your halo the other way. We've got 1 minute on the clock. You take the work at your pace. Let your legs be slightly fluid with you, but they're nice and strong. Nice job. Three seconds left. And time. Awesome. Okay, we're going to move our weights just a little bit out of the way. It's going to be a negative push-up. We're going to come all the way down into a prone position. Arms are going to reach out, and then we're going to do a knee down push-up to come up. So come into your high plank position, negative push-up. So we lower, slow and controlled all the way down to the ground. Arms come all the way out to the side. Bring them back in, do a knee down push-up to come up, find your high plank, and then back to that negative push-up. Lower as slow as you can. Come all the way down, arms reach out, arms come back in, knee down push-up into high plank. You've got it. Now, if that knee down push-up feels like I want that full push-up experience, you do you. But if the knee down push-up feels just enough, it's the negative push-up that we're working on. Everything else is just a little add-on. Ten seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to come all the way down onto our belly. For some of us who wear glasses, this is going to be one where keep your glasses on. I'll show you what we're doing, and then you might choose to take your glasses off. It's going to be 30 seconds working on one side, 30 seconds working on the other side. We're going to do a move, a move, a move, a move. We come all the way down and we rest. So we're going to reduce all efforting, and the reduction of efforting is the work. So come down onto your belly. Arms are going to be slightly above your shoulders, slightly wide. You're going to turn your head to the right and keep your cheek to the ground. You're going to lift your elbow. You're going to lift your cheek, but keep your cheek parallel to the ceiling. Look over your shoulder. Bring your cheek back to parallel with the ceiling. Lower your cheek, lower your elbow, and then reduce all efforting. And then this is where I say you can take your glasses off. It might feel just slightly more comfortable for the head position, and it will help you find that reduction of efforting. The reduction of efforting is the work. So you do a little bit of work, come all the way down, and then relax all the muscles. We got 30 seconds on the clock. Lift your elbow, lift your cheek parallel to the ceiling, look over your shoulder, cheek comes back to parallel, lower your head, lower your elbow, let all the muscles relax. Lift the elbow, lift the cheek, look over your shoulder, cheek to parallel, down to the ground, lower your elbow, reduce your efforting. Go one more time through if you can. Beautiful. Now, when you're ready, we're going to switch to the other side. So give a second, shake out your butt, wiggle out your shoulders, turn your head to the other direction, lift your elbow, lift your cheek, look over the shoulder, cheek comes back to parallel, lower your head, lower your elbow, reduce all efforting, let the muscles go. We got 30 seconds on this side. Take the work at your pace. And time. If you can, come all the way back down. Take one more breath with that complete reduction of effort. And then when you're ready, we're going to flip over onto one side. It's going to be a clam, a reverse clam, and then a side plank. So you're going to find, I think elbows and forearms feels like the nicest variation for my shoulder, but you'll find the upper body way that makes the most sense to you. So it's going to be heels together, lift the top leg, knees together, lift the top foot, lift the side of your body, lift the top leg, lift your arm, everything lowers back down. We go clam, reverse clam, clam with that side plank lift, and then release everything back down. We got 1 minute on this side. You take the work at your pace and you adjust that arm that's on the ground to be in the position that makes the most sense to you. Some of us like that lower position, and some of us might feel better to have that more high plank, side plank position. Nice job. I like on that reverse clam to just hold for just a moment with that heel lifted, and you might feel the side of your butt kind of kick on a little bit. I like that little hold right there at the top, just for a moment. Three seconds left. And time. Awesome. Okay, spin yourself around. I'm going to flip myself so I'm facing out, but you spin yourself around in the way that makes the most sense. And one shoulder might be different from the other. So support this shoulder on this side in the way that makes the most sense, but the work still applies. So we're lifting into a clam, lifting into a reverse clam, lift into that side plank with the leg lift, and then lower everything back down. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work on this side at your pace. Nice job. You're already halfway there. Five seconds left. And time. Awesome. All right, we're flipping over onto our back. It's going to be a hip bridge and a curl up. So you're going to position your legs the way you like the best. If you want to add your looping resistance band, I would say put it around underneath the knee joint and keep that little bit of tension between your inner thighs and your knees. But if you don't want that part, or if you've already done enough there, don't worry, leave that off. But we're going to take it feet about hip width distance apart. You're going to exhale, lift up into your hip width, squeeze your glutes, lower with control, and then curl up. Do that little reach through your fingertips, pull the abdominal muscles down, lower with control. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take that work at your pace. Exhale if you like, lifting up into that crunch. Inhale as you lower, hip bridge, and then exhale as you lift up into your curl up. Inhale as you release. If you like that breath connection, that's really great for your hip health. Exhale, lift. Inhale, release. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, release. Twenty seconds left. As you do that little curl up, look to your abdominal muscles. If they look like they're doming up into a little triangle, try to pull them actively down towards your spine as you curl up. And time. Awesome job. Okay, now we're going to step our legs even longer. Also, I say if you put your looping resistance band, you might want to choose to kick it off for now. And now we're going to take it into our starfish crunches to finish. So legs long, arms up and overhead, opposite hand to opposite foot. You're going to reach up and touch best you can. Release with control. Switch to the other side. I like my exhale as I reach up and touch. And inhale as I release back down. Keep a micro bend in your knees, especially if you have a tendency towards tight hamstrings. We're not trying to stretch the hamstring muscles so much as we're trying to engage those core muscles and the psoas or our hip flexor muscles. Ten seconds left. And time. Nice job. Okay, arms long, legs long. Take it into pendiculation or good morning stretch. So you're just going to reach through your fingers, reach through your toes. Take a big giant inhale and just reach and stretch through your body as you take that big inhale. And then in your own way and at your own pace, find your way up to a seated position with your legs out in front of you, nice and long, a little bit of a generous bend in the knees, lift up and over. Exhale, reach towards your feet. Does not matter if you can touch your feet. What we're shooting for here is just a light, gentle stretch to the low back. Nice. When you're ready, walk it up and out of that fold. Bring the soles of your feet together into your little butterfly position. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. Hands are going to come to the insides of the knees or insides of the inner thighs. Your hands are going to create a resistance. Your knees are going to push up into your hands. So we're not trying to get the knees to go down. We're trying to get the knees to come up and the hands are going to resist. So push down, knees push up, hold that tension, hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to grab the outsides of the thighs. Thighs are going to push down. Hands are going to resist. So you're going to try to push the thighs down using your muscles of your legs. Hands are going to resist. Hold that tension for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that. Grab your toes, hip hinge, fold yourself forward. Just go to a place where you feel good sensation and then pause there for a moment and take a nice big breath. Nice. Now we're going to walk our hands out in front of us just enough so the hands can find the ground. And then we're going to walk off to one side. So your legs are going to stay as they are. You're going to just walk off to one side so you feel a little stress or stretch in the side of your body. Take a nice big breath. Last breath here. See if you can imagine that you're breathing into that back shoulder blade. Beautiful. Walk it over to the other side. Same thing here. We want to find that little stress or stretching sensation in the side of the body and then take a breath. Last breath here. See if you can breathe into that back shoulder blade. Beautiful. Walk it back through center. Take a breath. and then come back up out of that fold. Help your legs come together. We're going to come up to standing. Once you're up in your standing position, take one last nice big breath, reach up and overhead, maybe grab your wrists and then micro bend your knees, hip hinge, fold all the way down to the ground. Let your arms get heavy here. Let the back of your head get nice and heavy. We're going to roll up, but we're going to push down into our feet to roll up. So bend your knees and then find that intentional push down into your feet. Pull the belly button in, roll your way up. Take a couple of shrugs of your shoulders. You guys are amazing. Nice work today. Grab your big stability ball if you're sticking around, and you will need